I'm telling you, I saw 3 bounty posters go up this morning alone. 3! And every last one looked like trouble with sharp teeth. Why don't you order another round, will ya? We can pretend they don't exist, at least until tomorrow. Then we can have another adventure in Phelan.
This is Phelan Jon.
And I'm Lore Master Matt, and welcome back to the Sleeping Grush podcast, your source for information from every corner of the world of Phelan. And for the first time in a while, we are all ensconced comfortably this lovely Christmas week in the Cardboard Corner Cafe.
Ensconced.
Ensconced, yes.
It's revolutionary.
It is revolutionary. Cardboard Corner Cafe is the perfect spot to spend a lovely, cold winter evening playing games with your friends, having some fantastic food, and imbibing some lovely beverages. They are now in 2 locations, Lenexa Public Market and in Overland Park. If you find yourself in Kansas City, stop by the Cardboard Corner Cafe.
So we're going to start with, we're talking about 2026, right? That's what we're doing today?
And on the table first.
Oh, that's right. We got to do our segments.
You're
Sorry.
very excited about 2026.
We are. I'm so excited I was going to skip the whole deal.
Get the whole thing, right?
All right, on the table first?
Yeah.
Tell us what's on your paint table, Matt. Lore Master Matt.
I have a gob of terrain on my table.
You do? I've seen it.
You have. We're posting pictures all over the Missouri, Kansas painter site, right?
It's our webs.
The intrawebs, yes. So a ton of that. I just finished that lovely sort of video that I'm really happy with. Started a couple of figures for some buddies for Christmas presents, and started a new faction, which we're going to announce here in a couple of minutes that are sitting on my desk that I can't post pictures of yet, but soon. So lots of stuff on the desk, lots of winter projects.
Did I see an archway or a gate on one of those photos, like a doorway?
You saw probably this beautiful piece that I picked up from a scrap sale.
Yeah.
That is a 4-hosted an outdoor well.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
Okay.
forest.
Yeah.
And,
Now I know what I'm looking at. Okay.
Yeah, and it's missing a stone from the top of one of its pillars. So I've taken Sculpey, which I just used for the first time, and sculpted vines crawling up the side, holding the roof in place.
That's not part of the model?
No,
that's you?
That was me.
God bless you, sir. The Lord's work.
Holy
cats.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Oh, thank you.
I would have thought that was part of the model. That's awesome.
It was not. It was either I dropped it or it came with that piece missing. Which either way, I mean, I picked it up secondhand, so I couldn't tell you. I didn't put it together. But it's about to get a repaint now. That Sculpey's dry. I think I checked it this morning before I left, and
well done.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So
awesome.
So our second segment is Spike and Win, where we talk about a game that we've recently played. And John, you want to talk about a game that you saw last week?
I did. So I have not been last couple of weeks that we played down here at Cardboard Corner. I haven't been playing Free Blades. I've been coaching it.
Nice,
right? Our dearly beloved Blade Mother. And we keep her so busy she hasn't been playing lately.
Right.
And it does not, as you know, Bob, from our board game challenges that she and I have. She doesn't like to lose. So she came to me and said, "Hey, I need to get back into things. Would you give me some coaching? Let me ease back into it." Of course, my first piece of advice was drink.
Right.
Because we know how 2 beer Julie is way better than 0 beer Julie.
Yeah.
But given that she wants to try to do it sober, I was going there to give her some advice. And we talked through why making a list, why you make it a certain way, what these models are supposed to do for you. And then we were going to play a game, and Chris Smith, a good friend of ours, Major League Phelan fan, has a daughter, Nomi,
yes.
Who is one of those kids, just adorable. But, it's one of those kids that, sometimes it's challenging to remember she's not an adult.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
She clearly isn't, but, she'll just say very,
she carries herself.
Insightful stuff, carries herself very well. And she is just a total Julie fangirl.
Yes.
Julie comes in a room, nobody lights up, lunges over to her. And Julie's been kind of her mentor. And Nomi is a designer of the Blade Daughter.
She is.
You know, we need to do a Blade Mother model someday
We absolutely do.
that isn't visible. I was at I'm going to date myself. I was at Origins 77.
Oh my.
Right, yeah. And there was a row of metal Star Trek models for sale. It was like Klingon D7, Federation Constitution class, Tholian, whatever. And then it was a blank stand and it said, Raman Warbler. And a guy bought it. He bought it, just to say he bought an official one. People buy anything, pet rocks. So we should make a Blade Mother model. But of course, she's not there.
I thought we had.
Who says we didn't? Yeah. Anyway, so Julie and I were playing to play. Nomi was there. Clearly, the game that needed to be played was the two of them.
Yes.
So hot eclipse on eclipse action, and Trials of Gravis.
Mm-hmm.
Julie had a Blade Daughter leader. Either Nomi had one that Chris painted that was not her leader, but or didn't have it. I don't remember, but not exactly the same list.
Right.
Played Trials, 3 stones, and the middle stone is sitting on top of a ziggurat.
Mm-hmm.
A rectangular pyramid with terraces. Right.
Nice.
So we ruled because the height of the terraces, that's very rough. So it's slow getting up there. And Julie does a great job of using the Blade Daughter leaders adapt the plan.
Oh, yeah.
Get a model close, use adapt the plan, hop up a level. Then they can use the rest of their movement to go up a second level, right? Very smart. And there's a battle over the stone at the top between one of Nomi's heroes and one of Julie's leader. And of course, that classic situation. I think Jager was talking about it before we started. You whiff, the other person scores, your leader takes a morale test, and what do you roll?
Right.
Inevitably.
Right.
They're going to roll a 3. 25% of the time happens 100% of the time. So it's not about, and this is the thing, right? This is with the coaching that I tried to give them. In trials, something could either go bad at one of the stones and you've got to react and get over there or, switch sides, or something goes good and it closes, but you just spent so much resources getting it closed, you're out of position to work on the other two, right? And then you got to make decisions because you have exactly the same number of points.
Right.
Who's holding off one while you focus on the other two? So you spread yourself too thin, and there was no real model to back up what Julie was doing when everything went to hell on the middle objective, even though her approach to it was perfect. I thought she did great.
Right.
And so it was a seesaw battle. Nomi closed my left-hand side. From Julie's perspective, Julie's left-hand side trial. And that was where, some of the models were that really needed to be somewhere else. And it was too long to get over there.
Yeah.
Didn't get there in time before she could close it. So great seesaw battle, a lot of talk back and forth, Chris trying to soccer dad Nomi and Nomi having none of it. Right? He was trying to give her advice and it wasn't necessarily wrong.
Right.
It's just that she had a plan. She was executing.
Right.
And his might have been like a good move, but was not the move she was planning on making, which was also a good move.
Right.
Right. And she's like, Dad, and just put her hand up, right? And I'm like, I was agreeing with it. Chris,
I could hear that in her voice.
You need to go back to the bleachers, son. So, but just a great game. We have some photographs of it online.
Yeah.
And it will also be the subject of John's unsolicited advice here at the end of the podcast.
Lovely.
Yeah, come from that game.
We love John's unsolicited advice.
It'd be the only ones. Okay. So what's next?
We're
talking
finally
about 2026.
Yeah, we're talking about 2026, folks. This is being recorded 2 days before Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Or Merry Post-Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yes. Yeah. You're gonna hear this probably the week after.
We hope you had a Merry Christmas.
We hope you had a Merry Christmas.
We hope we have a Merry Christmas.
We do that.
That's
too.
a lot of Merry Christmas.
But 2026 is right around the corner.
It is.
It's just
days away.
Yeah,
Literally days away.
and so we thought maybe it was time
Talk about
to talk about
2026.
2026 because there's some big stuff coming in 2026. The next few years are loaded with some amazing DGS stuff, and we're going to start unpacking this pretty soon. But we're going to give you a preview of 2026 Free Blades today, and
Not just free blades.
That's right.
Let's talk about some not just free blades first, right?
Yeah, because we want to give you an update. We sent the emails out about Pterodem and the Alcala Oracle, and we want to follow that up with a little segment here. So
Right. I'll take that away. Yeah, sure. So Pterodem, our first board game. It's our first time, so be gentle. You know. Caught in,
clearly the universe hasn't.
was not been. Yeah. Just decided to have a tariff-based trade war right in the middle of our very first board game.
Yeah.
Because there is no really reliable, cost-effective American manufacturer of the components that go into board games. These are made in China. I think everybody in the hobby knows this.
Yeah. And if you don't, you do.
And if I had the money, I'd lead with a major loss, to be the one manufacturer that did it. But I don't have it.
Absolutely.
If I ever have it, I will. I promise. I was thinking about that today. And just do what Amazon did, suck it up for 5 years. To be the establishment and have everybody come to us because we're right here.
Yeah.
Shipping's easy. Tariffs aren't an issue.
Right.
Customs aren't an issue. Anyway, so in the middle of learning how to do all that, because we are model manufacturers, all of us, everything was a lesson. Every single thing was a lesson. The good news is we're done. It's being produced.
We've learned it.
We know what the lessons are.
We'll find out in the near future.
We'll see if we learned anything. Yeah. So it's being produced as we speak. I approved the last set of proofs like 2 days ago. We pulled the trigger with them, and they are in the process of making it. This is late December. It takes about 3-4 weeks to make the product, and then about that long to cross the ocean and get through customs and do all the things. So we had to learn a different set of graphic design techniques. I've never done a punched out counterboard before.
Right.
I've never done a hard player board. We've done cards, but not the way that this has to be done to do thousands of decks or whatever it is, lots of decks. So we had to learn a lot of lessons. We've acquired partners we did not have before the process. And again, I really enjoy the game. And like I've said before, I'm not a deck builder guy. I do like board games a lot, and I'm playing more of them than I think I've had in a long time. Deck build is not necessarily my favorite format. But boy, you can play a game of Pterodem that's exciting and not take a lot of time doing it.
Right. Not
take a lot of time teaching it. Because I'm a crunchy gamer. Yeah. So some of the games, I'd be just getting done teaching it and the Pterodem game would be over. So that kind of game to get your friends. We were already working on the first expansion, and we're all very excited about it. And for the pre-order folks that trusted us when we told them we thought we could get it out by Thanksgiving, and it ended up not being true, we are going to provide all of them with an alternate art Bane deck when their pre-order goes out that nobody else but they will get as a thank you from us for their patience. So 3 months from right now. So
now that we've got something a little more solid as far as the timeline is concerned, we're going to start really hitting that in the new year.
Yeah,
as far
gameplay, unboxing. We need to do all that. Open up the right channels so we have customer service, and we've got rules questions, and we've got all that sort of thing going on.
Yep.
But a very fun game, and now that we know the process, everything's theoretically going to be easier. Starting with expansions this game, right. I'm already working on our next board game well into that process. I'm really happy with where we're at. I wasn't for a long time, but that's changed. The breakthroughs have come. The second thing to talk about is the Alcala Oracle. As a Kickstarter we did, I'm going to say our last Kickstarter because it was the last one we did, but I'd like to think it's the last one we ever do.
We did that before.
We did, and we lied, and we were wrong. And I don't think Julie's going to let us get away with it a second time.
Probably not.
But it did not go the way we planned because we're also having our cards made by the same company as making Pterodem.
Right,
so
it's the same supply route.
Same supply route, same lessons. We were learning all these lessons all simultaneously with both projects.
Yeah.
And we wanted the art for the Alcala Oracle to be special. It's all done by a human, and no AI involved.
Right.
But all done by the same person.
And a human named Neo.
Oh my gosh, that's right. I don't think of it that way because I see it and it's not spelled the same way. But yes, right. Yeah, human named Neo. Yeah, he bridges the matrix. What can we say?
He sees it. That's
He's the chosen one. Yeah.
yeah.
Just super, everybody who sees the deck just goggles over the art. So we got there, but there were some challenges. Hasn't been the best monsoon season in the Philippines where Neo lives. We've had the tariff challenges, so getting some of the art done is one thing. So there's been some challenges there too. But for those folks, and we are going to be late, several months late, first time ever. It was our 9th Kickstarter, and the first 8 delivered on time. This one did not. They are going to get, and there's three sets of cards here. There's the tarot, the Uncolor Oracle, which allows you to do tarot oracle readings, but from a fail-on perspective with fail-on history.
Yeah.
But you could also just use it as an oracle.
Sure.
And so there's going to be a whole brand of customers that we're going to, be having that are into oracle decks that may not ever be interested in fail-on one way or the other.
Oh, no, they will be after they see
once they see it. Once they read the story,
Yeah.
once they read the current story, they'll be jumping right on it. So the Oracle deck, then there is a deck of magic items for use in Free Blades and Bright Sword that are based on the art from the Ankala Oracle and that story.
Right.
That introduce the Ankala and why it is that's where you generally get your magic items.
Right.
And then because we had the ability, we're also doing the Three Gestures card game, which is the poker of Phelan, the Texas Hold'em of Phelan. That's what you play if you're in a tavern. What's the Star Wars one? Sabak, yeah. Same sort of thing. A game that's identified with and part of that culture, and not an Earth game translated in
Right.
to your background. So the different rewards were you could get a reading, you could get an Ankala Oracle deck, you could get all three or some combination. If you got decks of any kind, you are getting 2 of each instead of 1 of each.
Yeah.
So if you ordered 1 Oracle, you're getting 2. If you ordered all 3, you're getting 6 decks, 1 of each, the 3. You're getting free shipping, and you're also getting a promotional card for use with your RPG, your Phelan RPG, that nobody else will get, as a thank you for putting up with the fact that we did not deliver on time.
Yeah.
And that is all early 2026.
Yeah.
They're going to tailor them and the 3 decks together.
Right.
So that'll come to our distributor at the same time.
So it'll be like a second Christmas for us when it comes to the door.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
my God. I will be so happy when that stuff is in the States. It's been a long road.
Yeah, it's been a long road.
But by the time we're touching it here in the States, we will have learned,
Sure.
We will know what the lessons are, but likely also learn them, and we'll be able to implement them in Free Blades projects, Bright Sword projects, Unshadowed Speech projects. We will have learned all this, and we'll have much, much more, much broader way of showing you the worlds than we've had to date.
Right. And like you said, part of this process has been getting new partners to fill in these gaps that we didn't even know
We have.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So we get to this spot where there's a gap and we fill it with a partner. And now we have
Partner
that partner.
indoors, yeah,
Right.
after this project.
So-
a distributor, a publishing partner, a graphic designer,
Yeah.
all these things, a freight forwarder, logistics partner,
Yeah.
all people that we're going to keep because we're going to keep doing this while we expand.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
So a lot of good things coming out of this. We understand that they're late, and we could not be sorrier about that. To be honest, we hate that, but there's going to be some silver linings in that,
That's
and
thank
you're
you.
gonna
Yeah.
see that as we go forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really good news. Looking forward to both of those. Let's talk about Adepticon. That is, it blows my mind how fast the year turns, and we are within spitting distance of Adepticon again.
I know.
Right.
It is crazy,
It's
right? Because we keep
insane.
talking about this part of the year, December, January, February is our time off because we're not going to cons every month. And it doesn't seem like it means
I wish I felt that, right?
I know, right?
Because I was thinking about it the other day.
It only sounds that way in August.
It does, right? It sounds great in August, but no, we're right there again. So Adepticon preview is up now.
The cart preview.
The cart preview. You
Yep.
can go onto the Adepticon site and you can check out all of the DGS offerings that are there. The only thing that's not on there that we are going to do as usual is our painting competition, and we're going to be announcing some stuff for that very soon. But The reason it's not there is because the stuff on that website is the stuff that's going to cost you tickets to enter.
Right.
And the painting contest is not one of
Does
those
not
things.
cost you anything.
We're
Yeah.
not going to charge you for that. But the tournaments, the demos, the player games, all of these are being previewed right now, and you can check them out so that when January 11th comes and it's 0 hour and you got your hand hovering over the button,
You know what to go buy the ticket for. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So
There was a slight glitch pointed out this week that in the cart preview, the tournament said 250. It's 275.
it's 275.
Matt's changed it for us, so it's already up correctly. They correctly identified it's supposed to be 275, not 250, and we do have it fixed.
Yeah,
so
plain.
you're 275 gold free band, not 250.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's also very exciting.
And Fort Don is one of those games.
Yeah. So
Fort Don's next door.
yeah, it's funny that we mentioned this because again, our good friend Chris Smith has set up his terrain that for the game that he's running, right behind us here. Basically, there's in the room beyond the wall here. He is previewing the terrain for that game, and he's setting up and running a couple of scenarios through it to start getting a feel
Get
for
a
the
feel for
game.
it, practice it. Yeah.
It's
Beautiful
gorgeous.
piece. Yeah. Yeah.
It's beautiful. I know what he wants to do with this game, and folks, you don't want to miss this game. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be full of some wild, nutty things that and like participation type stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to spoil
Yeah, we don't want to
everybody,
spoil it.
but
Yeah.
it's going to be crazy good.
I can do something without spoiling. I'll tell you this. So I have a friend who is sadly not a Free Blades player. He plays another game that shall go nameless, but attends Adepticon, lives in Milwaukee, actually,
Mhm.
right? And we were talking the other day, he said, you're coming back to Adepticon, right? You have a booth there? I said, yeah. And he said, God, you guys did a great terrain. I just couldn't get over that Black Temple, right?
Right,
He's
right,
talking
right,
about
right.
Jacob's
Jacob's Temple.
Necropolis. And we say it all the time. We have some beautiful looking models. They're 32 millimeters high. You can't see them across the room.
Right,
The terrain brings you over the table, and then these models are cool, right?
right.
But the guys have to try to outdo themselves. I mean, they have a reputation,
There is that bit of
not just themselves, but each other.
yes,
Because that's going on too.
absolutely it is.
So, and a little healthy competition in trying to get, just the best possible, beautiful terrain to play games on.
Yeah.
And if Fort Don's any hint of what's coming, it's going to be outstanding. It's crazy.
I have seen the terrain for 2 of our 5 games, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Right, it's gorgeous, and I know the other ones are going to be great too because I know the people that are doing them.
Yeah.
and
And they'll always deliver.
they
Yeah.
always deliver, and not just beautiful terrain, but the gameplay is going to be phenomenal. The
Yeah.
stories that they're telling
Yeah.
are phenomenal. It's just going to be a blast.
Yeah, and they do a really good job talking to all the crew there, Chris and Jacob and Roger and all the guys, of, assessing what worked and what didn't, what people liked and what they didn't
Yep.
like from a previous game,
Yep.
previous year, and then skipping over the stuff that maybe fell a little flat,
Yeah.
and then jumping right on the stuff that got people excited. That whole thing with the Apprentice Night last year,
Yeah.
those kinds of scenes, those kind of epic moments are what you're going for. And they're talking amongst themselves about how to bring put that into the game, not just doing the same old thing,
Right.
So, yeah.
There's one thing I know in this game that's going on right here that we're going to want a videographer at the table for, right? And
Not for the figures, for the players,
for the players.
for the players' reaction.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a
and-
good idea.
And I'm going to be there
Yeah.
to do that,
Yeah.
right? Because it's just
You
gonna
got to
be
catch that moment,
amazing.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
So Adepticon preview, the game's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But that's not the only thing that's going on there because we are doing our normal release. I say normal, like
9 models.
9 models. People, like that happens a lot with companies like ours. 9 models that we're going to release at Adepticon 2026.
From 3 different factions.
3 factions this year, right? So the last couple of releases have been,
At Adepticon.
well, just in general, have been kind of scattered, right? Because they've been picking up different factions.
Well, we did Varkral last year.
We did Varkral
The last,
at
no,
Adepticon.
you're talking about the last 2 after that. Right?
Yes.
Black Friday and
Gen Con,
yeah.
So they filled in some holes
Yep.
in several different factions. And
Yep.
this time around, we're focusing on 3.
Yep.
And today we're going to name those three, and we're going to name the new one last.
Okay.
So
We're gonna add. Am I doing like the first one, and the last one?
just yeah, you just
Okay. So we're gonna add 3 models to Varkrow.
and
Okay.
we've looked at we just
just saw the-
we literally just saw a render one.
The render from one of them just showed up, and I will say something else. That render is just ridiculously gorgeous. I
It
mean,
is.
I want 10 of those models, but and I've personally been waiting for it for a long time. That model's been in my Canon head for 20, 30 years.
Right.
But one thing I think we can say is that we have brought old friend back into the fold with these guys.
Yes.
Gail Gamon,
Yeah.
sculptor he lives in France, right?
I believe he's
Yeah.
French.
Gail has sculpted for a number of companies. Originally, I think he was the big name for Confrontation.
Yeah.
Just got done working for Simon. Has sculpted almost the entire original line of metal Freeblades models. Has come back to us, and we are very happy to have him.
Yeah.
Super talented guy.
He pulled one of those Varkroll ones down and brought it back, and I about fell out of my chair.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just.
He took the art, and made it something special.
He
Yeah,
did.
crazy.
And the art was beautiful and
the art was beautiful. Wow.
right. It was gorgeous. And
Take that to another level. Just
Right.
tells you how talented he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're really, really happy to have him back.
thrilled to death to have him back.
Okay, Varkrell's one. Second one is
Dark Grove Demons.
Dark Grove Demon.
Yeah. So we'll talk a little bit more about the Dark Grove here in a moment when we talk
If
about our
not all groves
2016.
are dry.
No, they're not. This one especially not. So these three are going to open up new venues for play in the Dark Grove list. They're going to complement
Existing
instead of
models.
heart
And set up, yeah.
the Dark Grove, and they're gorgeous. The ones that we've seen so far, the art
Yeah.
is.
We don't have a render yet for any of those, do we?
We don't have a render
think
yet
so.
for either.
The art's
for
great,
any-
though.
But the art is fantastic. I'm really, really thrilled with the art.
Yeah.
So, Dark Grove Demons, and the third one.
The Black Cutlass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this for a while.
Yeah, you and Don.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I know. He's very, very
Poor
excited
guy.
about it, and I don't want to take it away from
He's
him.
having 59 heart attacks.
Yeah. But yeah, there's
So we're not going to tell you about the models, but we're going to give you a little bit of story. So
yeah.
the Black Rose, as her syndicate expands, sends Akavan, the duelist, off to be his own branch of her crime organization.
Right.
He becomes the Black Thorn,
Comes a Blackthorn.
right? Well, she wants to expand into maritime littoral operations. She takes the woman who is known as the Sea Blade and elevates her to a lieutenant, and she becomes the Black Cutlass.
Yeah.
And she does most of her thing at sea. So
That's right.
Yeah,
Which is awesome.
it's awesome.
And that kind of gives you a hint of what we're going
Yeah.
for with that
So
faction. We can also say, I think without divulging too much, that the Black Cutlass list is going to be one of those lists where there are a few figures that are Black Cutlass figures. And then the rest of them are going to
yeah,
be
similar
pulled in.
to the Collective and Ravenblade.
Right.
Yeah, that's that type of faction.
Yeah. They're going to be pulled in from these others.
They're not going to have
So-
a starter box anytime soon.
They're not. But that
Yeah.
does mean that you're going to have a very playable list.
Right off,
Very
yeah,
tournament
right off the bat. Yeah.
ready list right off the bat.
Yeah. All the models there to make a number of different play styles are going to be available from the moment that you get
Yeah.
these three. Yeah.
And I have
The intent.
that list, and that is what is sitting on my table.
Right. Which you can't show anybody.
Which I can't show anybody yet. I've already been playing around with color schemes and things like that. I'm very, very excited about digging into that because, like I said, I've been waiting for a few years. on
Yeah,
this,
sure.
And
Yeah.
very, very excited about that. So Adepticon is going to be special. Let's just wrap it with that. Adepticon is going to be special. So the next thing we want to kind of hint on is our theme for 2026. We decided last year, John, I think it was in April, right after John Con.
Do you explain John Con?
Yeah,
Oh, we should give
I think we should.
2 second summary here.
Give the
Yeah, so this is John Con 19. Isn't that crazy, right? They haven't all been consecutive. There's a couple of jump over gaps in there, but it's been consecutive lately. It is a gathering by invitation only, gathering of close friends. The idea originally was I was going to be stationed in the middle of the country have all your game playing army buddies come in because, you get this one shot and it makes it easy to reach here. Kansas City, very easy place to get to. And have a gaming weekend. And then we stayed.
Right. And you planted.
The 3-hour tour. Yeah. So 26 years later, here I am. So, so that one of the things that we do there, what we had been doing is we've been jumping around with genres.
Yeah.
We use the tiered dice system, but we would do, cowboys and Star Wars and spies and whatever, pirates. But several years ago, the crew decided, because the crew decides the last night of the event, what the next year's thing is, that we just want to stay in Phelan.
Right.
So spin and Phelan, with one blip out to Shadow Streets. That might be something we alternate later. We're going to negotiate that. But it's a Phelan, this year, the Phelan-based game. And what the players wanted was environmental hazards made a big role, had a big role in the weekend, a big role in the gameplay.
They wanted something moody and a moody setting.
Yeah.
Where the setting really dictated the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we put it in the jar sit. Which
it
translates directly to Swamp of Death.
Right. The Death Mirror.
So, where if you're going to be moody and dangerous, put it in the Swamp of Death during a hurricane.
Yeah, put it in the one place where it's gonna, everything can kill you.
Yes.
Literally. And that's the point of it.
Absolutely. So, I have not had a TPK in a very long time. As a game master, I am due. I'm absolutely due. Yeah.
So we decided when that became the theme for JonCon that we were going to push that theme across the wider production year for DGS, because we were already making boards, going to make boards for JonCon. We were already going to have scenarios for JonCon, and we already had the figures, Dark Grove Demons, Black Cutlass, that were part of this story in the jar set anyways, the one that's existed for a long, long time.
Right.
And so we have been pushing really hard to put together a bunch of jar set stuff.
Source material. One of the things we learned with the last couple of global campaigns is global campaigns run centrally do not necessarily work for our playership.
They don't.
So what we're going to do is we're going to give you a toolkit, and you do jar sit the way you want to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and we've been working on that, and I can tell you right now, I'm through the original writing and through the previs stuff, right? Yeah. So all the pre-production stuff, besides the design work, is done, and I'm running around 250 pages, and that is all goodies for you to do whatever you want with.
Put in your games.
Right. So rules,
encounters, free blades, role playing, however you want to do it, mixture.
Whatever. Right.
The system is designed to do.
Right. There's a lot of stuff, and we're going to start teasing that harder here now that we're coming into the new year. But this year's theme is going to be jar sit, and it's going to start with source book, and we'll continue supporting that source book with all sorts of cute add-ons as we go through the year. And it's going to inform the next thing I want to talk about, which is our promo card challenge.
Right.
So that's exciting.
Want to talk about that? You talk about that. I'll do it.
Yeah,
you do it. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the way it's going to work. There is going to be an artifact card. Now you have to remember that there are 60 magic items in the rulebook. There is a 54 magic item deck coming that was part of the Uncala project, but it's going to be available for sale to anyone.
Right.
It's not necessarily, now that it's made, it's there for free blades and Brightsword players. So that's 114, magic items. Then there's what I probably shouldn't call them this, but I call them this in my head, the legacy artifacts. The ones that were the original promotional card set, Aelin's Ring, Durzacool, Crescent Moon.
Right.
All of us sort of thing. We're going to redo those in the same style as the Uncala magic item deck. Clean them up, make them pretty, get the rules kind of, in line with current state of the art.
Right.
So you have those to draw from. And what we're about to talk about is something on top of all that,
Totally new.
right? So this is a nine card set with a 10th card we're going to talk about that you can only get by going to one of 9 DGS events and playing in either a participant, not a demo, but a participation game or a tournament.
That's right.
The events are going to be in, the big ones, Adepticon, Gen Con, ReaperCon, but there's going to be others. There's going to be 6 others.
Yeah.
You go and you get these cards by playing in those events.
Right.
Right.
And each event has a specific card.
Right.
Right.
Yes. So if you go to Adepticon, there is the X artifact.
Yes, there's an Adepticon card.
Yeah. And then if you go to ReaperCon, it's a different one.
It's a different one. So
Right.
It's a special one for each event.
If you collect all 9, you get the 10th.
Right. Which is going to be a doozy.
The greater artifact.
Yeah.
And it's the greater artifact that is the point of the adventure in John Con.
All of the goings on in the jar set.
Yeah. So,
They point to this, which points to something a little further down the road.
Right. Yeah.
So,
and one thing I just want to add to that is because I was talking about it earlier. You have the Black Rose. Things don't stay static. So Akaban, the duelist, goes from a D10 hero to a D12 leader. Right. The Black Rose gets him working for her, gets the Black Cutlass working for her. Shouldn't she get a promotion? So one of the things you'll see later in the year is the Epic Black Rose stat line. So you can start seeing what captains look like.
Yeah.
Right. She'll be the first.
And I'll go ahead and divulge this now. One of the patrons involved in the jar set is the Black Rose.
Right.
She will have a patron status
Yes.
in this game rather than a.
Yeah. She gets elevated.
So
if you're playing the D12, leader version in your games, you're going to be playing the one from the, canonical past.
Right.
Right. Just like when you play the duelist, you're playing the duelist from the canonical past.
Right.
So you'll see this, captain level leader stat line model to follow sometime later.
Yes.
And see it these captains. Now, introducing them into free blades is problematic because they just, that's 50 plus points of your, free band.
They're hefty.
And do you really need all that?
Yes.
Just drop it into one model. Probably. Some people will say yes. So, I know all of them.
We'll
right?
put it.
I can name names. I'm not going to name names, but I could name names. Luke. So, but we need to have these for captains of Phalanx.
Right.
We need to have these for the army level game where these people form companies to be, at war during the Brightsword War. So
they'll also make
great. The first.
They'll also make great models for encounters.
Yes.
Or RPGs.
Yes.
For Brightsword.
Yeah. Because the Black Rose is both patron and villain at John Con.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And not the D12 version.
No.
Sorry about that.
That's right.
So, yeah.
So this promo card challenge came about as part of the jar set theme that we're doing. And there's going to be a whole bunch of other stuff. Obviously, it's going to kick off around Adepticon, right? So everything post-Adepticon is kind of going to be jar set themed. And of course, when JonCon comes off in late April,
mid-April, yeah.
right after that, there's going to be a whole slurry of other stuff to add to that.
Right,
and
which we got to keep under wraps for with JonCon players, but as soon as it's over,
absolutely,
photos,
Minutes.
backgrounds,
it's all over the place, right? And we'll be working on that feverishly as soon as we get the book finished. And I can tell you this as well about the book. This isn't going to just be a PDF. This is going to be something we're designing to be printed. Something that you can get from Drive-Thru RPG.
Maybe not immediately, but all of our products are going to kind of lean towards that.
They're going to lean towards that. So you're seeing an evolution of things here, not just in the way that we create stuff, but in the way that we are putting it out to the world and the way that you get to interact with it. So our system of campaigns is changing. Our system of distribution is changing. Our system of printing is changing. Everything is evolving at a pretty rapid pace, honestly, for us right now. So, and it's all pointing to being better for you, the player.
You, the player.
Yeah.
Because you're awesome.
So that is what we have in store for 2026, folks. That's a lot to digest. There's even more coming. There's going to be some things that we show you at Adepticon that are going to blow your mind that aren't necessarily Free Blades related.
Right. Yeah.
So it's going to be one heck of a year. 2026 is going to be one of these watershed moments for us as a company and for the folks that have been kind of following us and playing our games for several years. You're going to see some major shifts with us this year. So it's going to be great. All right. So as we go to wrap up, John, we need your unsolicited advice.
Do you need it?
I have been waiting all week for it.
My unsolicited advice comes from the game between Nomi and Julie last week. Something I said to Julie, I thought, oh, that'd be a great bit for the podcast. She was a little out of position when some bad things happened. And one of the things I said to her is, we as players have a tendency to try to force models to do what we have in our heads that they're best at. So the Secret Sister, she's disguised, right? She's an ambusher. She goes and hides around objectives, makes life miserable. The Blade Dancer version is even worse.
Right.
And she was doing Secret Sister things with this model when she should have been doing Trials of Garavis things with this model. Maybe not necessarily taking advantage of what she's best known for, but taking advantage of that model's other facets.
Right.
So once again, this is unsolicited advice I give all the time. The scenario matters more than whatever you got in your head about what you're supposed to be doing with your models.
Right.
If you have this great ultimate super Achilles Stumpy combination on the left-hand trial and your opponent solves the other two, you lost.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Right. So as you're, you got to be flexible in deciding that, generally speaking, that's what you're going to use this model for, right? But in both your pre-game planning and as the game goes on, you've got to be ready to shift that right out of your head and say, forget about the fact she's got disguise. I need to go over here and do this.
Right.
Forget that this model is mounted. This model is a caster. This model is whatever. I've thrown my caster into a fight to kill a key follower to settle a situation when she still had, or she had spell points left. Right. But that's not what was needed right then. So make sure, if you want to take some advice, it's unsolicited. You take a look at your models as you're planning what they're doing when you're setting up your game. As the game goes on, I would recommend not being so beholden to what their stat line says that you don't use them for what they need to be used for because you're trying to win the game.
Right. That's awesome advice. That's awesome advice. You, when I started playing Varkral, you and I were squaring off against each other. You were playing Candor, and you told me, you said, you need to set up your troops and run them as you imagine them ending.
Yeah, back to front.
When you win this scenario.
Yeah.
Right. And that occurred to me then as being really important because it was less about my troops and more about what they were trying to get done. And so that goes right in.
Yeah, I spent most of my 40-year military career trying to teach people that and failed abjectly. I can't even tell you how badly I failed. You can't get people typically to understand that. It's sort of chess-like, but I taught it as actual tactics to actual tacticians doing military tactical stuff, right? If I know where this model ends up, and I did that thing for Scott. There's a I don't know what channel it's on, Discord, list building maybe, tactics, free play tactics. There's a pinned document that's that same discussion because I was helping Scott work out what to do with his models in his game. Same thing,
right?
If I'm the Secret Sister in Julie's Eclipse, when I win this game of Trials of Garavis the way I want to win it, where's she at? That tells me where to put her.
It's been
when I start.
It's been a huge shift in the paradigm of how I play and shows.
Also be aware of the fact that if you're trying to apply that advice, right, and you can't answer the first question, you've got problems the Secret Sister can't solve.
Right.
If you say, well, how am I planning on winning this? Well, I don't know, Bob. You have to figure that out, right? So You know, it's because I've had that same thing happen in the
Sure.
classroom during my seminar. I mean, you know, we were talking about that. You know, how are you going to win this? Because we plan to start, and we'll at the start everything. You got everything. Got all your models. Nobody's taking a wound. All your spell points are there.
Right.
Right. That's not how it's going to be at the end.
Right.
And you got to finish with the right amount of stuff.
Yep.
Right. So
Awesome.
in the right places, doing the right things.
Yep. All right. Well, before we sign off, we'd like to thank TJ and Ali Croft, World of Phalon Patreon subscribers who support DGS games and the Free Blades community at the
World builder level.
And they are Semidian world
Ooh,
builders.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're an untapped gold mine, is what they are. For more information on the World of Phalon Patreon, please visit www.patreon.com/DGS Games. Folks, we really appreciate you hanging out with us. We hope you had a fantastic holiday season and that going into the new year, you have this sense of renewal and hope. And until next time, we'll see you around the table.
In 2026, Sil Sakava.